Hey, crocheters. No. Crafters, crocheters, knitters, and yarn enthusiasts. Alright, so today is Sunday, November 20th, and this is our blanket project video. Hi, my name is Jenny. Welcome to Granny Square Peg. It is a channel where I am going through my pile of yarn and my pile of projects and working one bin, box, bag, and project at a time. So, the project behind me here. A blanket I started working on back in 2014. So that makes it 6, 7, 8 years old. Okay, 2014. And I got stumped on this project, and I just didn't know where I wanted to go with it. So I've just been moving it around from spot to spot to spot. A couple years ago, I had come up with an idea of trying to finish it, but it didn't quite work out the way I had expected. So this blanket is not done at all, and today I have to decide what I'm going to do with it. Am I going to finish it, or am I going to frog it and take it all apart and use that yarn for something else? So, I'm calling this one Vintage Stripe, okay? I have a sheet, a bed sheet, that I found in my thrift store years ago that has such a vintage feel to it. I absolutely love it, and it was on my bed for years until the seam started to come out and it started to fall apart. But you see how vintage this is? It's got green stripes, blue stripes, yellow, and pink, all on a off-white kind of background. I love it. To me, it's like so straight out of the 70s and the 80s. And then, you know, I can't use it on my bed anymore because of the way it's falling apart. But maybe I can, you know, roll those seams in and get my sewing machine out and fix them so I can go back to using it. But I decided to make a blanket based off of the striping sequence on here. Okay? So, I did everything I could to match the colors. So this one wasn't a perfect match. I went with soft white from Red Heart Super Saver because soft white's my favorite color, so it toned this one down just a little bit. So I went with soft white. For the blue, I went with still Red Heart Super Saver in what they call light blue. It's actually a pretty good match, and I'm hoping that the camera can pick that up for you, right? And then for the green, I did Loops and Threads Impeccable, and it's called Grass. So this is the green I picked. So this green that I chose is a little lighter than this green in here, but that's okay. I think it still worked really well. The pink. Oh, the pink. Still with Red Heart Super Saver with baby pink. Okay. So there's the baby pink. The baby pink, I'm telling you, is spot on. It truly is. And then the yellow. At the time in 2014, I could not find a yellow that was bright enough, but also muted enough. So I went with Red Heart Super Saver with their bright yellow. So it did come out brighter, but I don't think it's too bad. So I decided to do the linen stitch, and you know what the linen stitch is. It's a single crochet, chain one, skip, and then a single crochet, right? And that's on your starting row. And then your next row, when you come back, you do a single crochet in the chain one space. You chain one, and you skip the single crochet, and then you do a single crochet in the chain space. So you wind up working in chain spaces, right? It's called the linen stitch, and there's so many other names for that particular technique and method and style. Everybody calls it something a little different. I typically call it the linen stitch, and that's what I went with. But it was taking me forever to work on this blanket. So I'm going to take you off the tripod, and I'm going to show you what the blanket looks like, okay? Alright, so my bookshelf, I don't have enough hooks to do it all straight out, okay? So you're talking at least 4 feet, because my bookshelf is 33 inches wide, and that one is 15. So yeah, it's probably got to be about 48 inches. And then you can see right down here where I changed the number for the stripes, and then I went with something completely different. So look, I mean, it didn't come out too bad, right? I did one row of soft white, then a row of the color, and then soft white, and then the row of the color, and then soft white, and then I went to the next color. All right, so I alternated. But it's taking forever. So since I made it 4 feet wide, it's only maybe 3 feet long, maybe. I can't go any further. I'm so frustrated with this blanket. And then you see here, I decided to do 2 rows of green, and 2 rows of blue, and 2 rows of yellow, and 2 rows of pink. And I ran out of steam. I couldn't do it anymore. And then while I did 2 sections, and then 2 sections, and then here I only did 1 and 1. And then I turned it on its side and I did single crochet in the back loop only to try to finish it off. Okay, crafters, for 8 years I feel like this blanket it's going to be the death of me. I made it too big. So I just did a rough count. If my count is right, then I'm at like 240 stitches wide, which is like 4 feet. I made it too big. I guess maybe I was trying to make it as big as the sheet itself, and I shouldn't have done that. I really should have just made it smaller. So I can't tell you what my initial starting chain was. I can just give you a rough estimate of like 250. And the first row, of course, is just all single crochet. The second row, starting with the... sorry, where was I? So when I did the row of green that starts the pattern, it is single crochet. Okay, single crochet, chain 1, skip, single crochet, chain 1, skip. So then when you come back on the next row, which is the soft white, you do the single crochet in the chain 1 space, chain 1, skip, single crochet in the chain space. So you work in the chain spaces all the way up. So I did 1 row of soft white, a row of green, a row of soft white, a row of green, soft white, and then blue, soft white, blue, soft white, yellow, soft white, yellow, soft white again, pink, soft white, pink, soft white, and start it all over with the green. Okay? So to me, it really does remind me of the vintage sheet that I have, right? And then I went on, so there's 1 color section here, and then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it was after the 7th repeat of color. I just felt like it was taking too long. Now I would sit at night and work on this, but I felt like it was taking too long. So I decided to do, instead of white, pink, white, pink, white, pink, and then when I started over with the green, I went white, white, green, green, white, white, green, green. And I thought maybe I can get it done a little faster without changing colors at the end of every single row. And then I did white, white, blue, blue, white, white, blue, blue, and then white and white. And I'm like, I don't know what happened with this yellow and the pink. For some reason, I just went yellow, yellow, and then pink, pink, instead of yellow, 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 and then pink and pink. And then I decided I was done. I was going to put a border on it and call it quits. So I did this single crochet in the back loop only, and I started on this last row, and what I did is you just crochet up like 15 or 20 stitches, and then you work back along it, and then you do a slip stitch into the blanket, and then you work up and then back, you slip stitch into the blanket. It's a way to do the border instead of having to turn the blanket around and around and around. it's a good way to do the border, and I really do enjoy doing this like this. So I wanted a little bit of all the colors in the blanket, so I did some math. So I did a section of the soft white, small section with the pink, soft white, and then yellow, soft white, and then a section of blue, soft white, and then a section of green, and then soft white again. And then since I did this a couple of years ago, the blanket has just been sitting, and I don't know where to go from there. I guess what I should do is do this on the other 3 sides and then be done with it, right? And then there's the ends with all of these yarn tails that need to be sewn in. And you'd be like, well, just crochet over them. No, 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 no. You cannot just crochet over these when you do the linen stitch, because you see this right here? You can see the yarn, and I don't like that. I really like my yarn tails to be hidden, and I like them in between the stitches and through the fibers themselves. I don't like it where you can see them and where they can be pulled like that. Alright, so let me sit down and we'll figure out what we're going to do with this. Okay. Hey, crafters. Today is Tuesday, November 22nd. 2 days ago, I sat down to film this video, which was already a week late to begin with, about my next crochet project, my next blanket project, that I need to either finish up or figure out what I'm doing with. And it is this one that I'm calling my vintage stripe, right? You should have seen the first part of this video. I didn't rewatch it. I'm just going to leave it the way it is. This blanket has really got me so tied up in knots. It's got me so twisted up and so frustrated. I just don't know what to do with it, okay? So I put the video off for a week. And then I did sit down with it. And I'm like, well, I'm going to make up my mind today. And that was on Sunday. I'm going to make up my mind. What am I going to do with this blanket? Sunday was a really bad mental health day. I was having a rough go of it. So I decided I was just going to throw the whole thing away. All this hard work that I've done back in 2014, I'm just going to throw it away and be done with it. My husband sits down and he says, are you sure that's what you want to do? I'm like, yeah, today, that's exactly what I want to do. I want to throw it away. I want to be done with it. I'm so at a loss. I'm so frustrated. He's like, well, can you just let it sit for a little bit and wait? I'm like, it's already been sitting long enough. It's been sitting 8 years. I've got to figure out what I want to do with this blanket. Right? Have you guys been there? Has that happened to you? I know that we've all got project piles, and you ladies out there and gentlemen who start a project, work the project, finish the project before you even start another one, please let me know what your secret is, because I just don't know how to do that. I start them, I work them mostly, and then I put them down. Maybe because I get bored and I lose interest, maybe. So that might be part of my personality. So those of you who can get it done all in one shot, wow, I'm amazed. Evidently I'm not built like that. So my husband was right. I needed to shake off Sunday with the depressive mood and the anger that was building up in me. I had to take care of that first before I can figure out what I was going to do with this blanket. So I'm thinking, okay, well, maybe I'll just rip it all out. And that's a lot of work. I'd be ripping out all of this work and all of that yarn. And I would just roll the yarn up and I'd save it for another project. I'm like, but I worked so hard on this. And I know that it didn't go the way I wanted it to. But I had already put in a lot of time on it. And then, because I know what kind of person I am, even if I had rolled this yarn up to save it and do it in another project, whenever I would come across that particular color, I'd be like, you know what? This is the leftovers from that vintage stripe blanket that I worked on. That was a complete failure. And then it would make me feel bad, right? So, the next thing I came up with, and I know this is a lot of talking, I know, and I'm sorry for that. We're going to get some work done today. Just bear with me. I thought maybe, and I think this is the way to go. What I'm going to do is I am going to rip out some of the blanket. This part here, this here, here, and here. I am going to tear out this part of the blanket where it went wrong, and I'm going to go back to here where it's right. Okay, that's my first step. I'm not going to even think beyond that. So what we're going to do is we're going to tear out this all the way to here. It's not much, because then I still got all of this, okay? And then we'll go from there and figure out what we're going to do, because the blanket is going to be the death of me. So, let's see if I can find an end. I put, you guys, alright, I do have stitch markers, and I do use them. The thing is, I leave them with the projects till the projects are completely done. So I was out of stitch markers, and I used a safety pin. You guys do that? Use whatever's handy. Yeah, I do that. Take out that safety pin. And then untie those knots. And then untie that knot. Undo that last stitch. Alright, so let's get you guys tilted down just a little bit. Okay, this angle might be cutting my head off a little bit, but that's okay, because I need you to see the blanket in my lap. So, here we go. I'm going to take all this out. And all it is just, we call this frogging. Why do we call it frogging? Because we are ripping out the stitches. Rip, rip, rip. So when you say rip, 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 it sounds like, when we say rip it, rip it, rip it, it sounds like ribbit, 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 which is what a frog does. So we call it frogging. Now, I'm just going to let all this stuff that I'm pulling out, I'm going to let it land on the floor next to me, and then I'll roll it up. Hopefully my cats will leave it alone. Now remember, when you do take a blanket out, or a row, or a round, when you're pulling on it, don't pull too hard, because your stitches can get, they can get tight and then get twisted, and then you have to untangle the yarn. Okay, so there we go. This is where I have to cut out a knot where I added the pink. So there we go. This is the soft white that I ripped out on the floor next to me. Now I'm going to wind it up into a ball. Okay? Do I know what I'm going to do with this blanket once I get it back to where it all went wrong? No, I do not know. Not yet. But I am working it one step at a time, which is what I've been doing this whole time with my channel. One bin at a time, one box at a time, one bag at a time. Okay? Small chunks of something that I can get done, that I can accomplish. Small goals. So then I can feel like I did something. And so I can feel accomplished. And productive. And moving forward. Always, always moving forward. Trying not to let this hold me back. Hold me down. So, my question to you guys. Do you have a project that's been sitting around a year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years? This one for me has been 8. Since 2014. I did try to take it out a couple years ago and finish it, and then that's when everything went wrong. So, let's take it back to where it's still good. But do you have something that's been sitting for a while? Do you need help with it? Do you need encouragement to finish it or ideas on what to do with it? Let me know down in the comments below. We're here to help. I'm here to help. And everybody else who watches these videos, we're all here to help, okay? Okay. There is my first bit that's been frogged, and actually I feel pretty good about that. I feel pretty good about where I'm going with this, about undoing this bit. So I'm going to work on this for the next 45 minutes or so, and I'll come back and give you an update when I finish frogging this, okay? Okay, I know the lighting's not perfect, but it's sitting in the corner of my couch where it's a little bit shady. So I wound up with 5 balls of the soft white, and then these little balls of the color that were all the single crochets in the back loop, only like I was trying to do a border, and it didn't quite work with the blanket. So there it is, all frogged, all rolled up, and then here's the blanket, and I'm going to be taking out these rows here, the white, the pink, the white, the yellow, the white, because what I did is I had changed the number of rows I had done. Like here it alternated. White, green, white, blue, yellow. Okay, so you can see that I changed the number of rows, and that's where things went wrong for me. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be frogging this all the way down to here where I put the stitch marker. But since it runs the length of the blanket, and this blanket is folded and then folded again, it's really long, it's like 4 feet. I have to sit in a different chair to do this because it has to sit across my lap since I got to go back and forth. It's going to take some time. Okay, I can tell you that as of now, with doing that frogging I just did, and knowing that I'm going to be doing more frogging from here down to here, I'm already feeling better about this blanket because now I'm doing something productive and proactive with it. So I am feeling better. But it's that time of day where it's teenage stuff, school stuff, so I have to take a break from you guys. But hopefully by the end of tonight, the frogging will be done. So I will come back and give you an update later on today. Hopefully it won't be too dark and I won't be too tired to finish this. Sorry, yarn fibers on my lens. Alright, so I will see you guys later, and hopefully I'll have some progress. I'll talk to you guys. Alright, crafters, I've had a small little break. I've had some lunch. I have a hot cup of tea, and I'm still using my Halloween cup. Now, let's get some frogging done, huh? As you can see, I can't do this one-handed, but I'm sitting in a chair so I can do all the way down the row. Alright, so give me an hour, hopefully I'll be done. So, pink and yellow are gone. It's just blue and the green. Say hi to Bandit. Bandit has figured out that I'm playing with yarn. And he's like, Mom's playing with yarn. Can I play too? Bye-bye, Bandit. Now I'm in focus. Yes. Okay. So then I just have this green to take off. I'm leaving these 2 rows of white here. And when I get this done, we are going to lay this out on my bed and figure out how big it is and where we're going from here. Alright, crafters. This is all the leftovers that I have taken out of the blanket. Well, not leftovers. This is what I frogged from the blanket. Okay? Put it in a box. So, you know, my kitty cat that y'all saw walk around in the last clip, we'll leave it alone and stop trying to chew on it. Now, let's take that blanket upstairs, lay it out on a bed, and see how big it is. Wow, crocheters, was I ever wrong about the size of this blanket? This is my tape measure, right? I'm thinking it's 48 inches. Well, there's the 48. There's 60. That's 5 feet. Yeah, it's a lot bigger than I realized. So, 60, 70, 86 inches. A little more than 6 feet. So this is, I have a king size bed. Okay. So you know a king size bed is just two singles pushed together, right? So this is my side of the bed. It goes from the foot all the way up to the head. Okay. And it's just at the edge of the bed here. And going this way. And it ends right here. And the middle of the bed is about here. So it doesn't quite cover the top of a twin size bed. But I'm not adding any length to this. I did want it to be full king size, but there's no way. There's no way I can finish this and make it king size. So I'm calling it quits with whatever size this currently is. I've got 33 inches for the width, left and right. So here's a book. I have a book for crochet borders, and I'm going to sit and flip through this book and find a border to put on it. Ooh, but wait. Maybe I can turn this and put it on the end of the bed. Do you know how some people do a foot runner? It's like a table runner, but it's for the foot of your bed, where it's just decorative. Let me see if it'll fit that way, okay? Well, look at that. It fits perfectly on the bottom of my bed, left to right. So yes, it can be a foot runner for a king size bed. So now I just have to find a border to put on it. Woo! Yay! We got a plan! Did you see that last clip, crocheters? It fits perfectly left to right on the bottom of my king size bed. So yeah, it can be a foot runner. I don't even know if that's still a thing anymore, because they're supposed to be just decorative, but you can still use it as a blanket. So yeah, it fit perfectly. So now I just have to come up with a border to put on it. So I'm excited because I'm that close to finishing it. Today is still Tuesday? This is still Tuesday, November 22nd. So I've been working all day on figuring this blanket out. So I have a book called Around the Corner Crochet Borders by Edie Ekman. I'm going to sit and I'm going to flip through this book, and I'm going to see what kind of border I can find on here that says, oh yeah, that's the one that needs to go on the blanket, okay? I'll take you guys with me. Just give me a few minutes. We'll sit, and as I start flipping, because I can't show you everything in the book, copyrights and all that, but I'll show you the cover of the book and the name and the author in case you guys want to pick up a copy, because I would highly, highly, highly recommend it. So yeah, I'm going to sit and find a border to go on this, and then hopefully I can work on it in the next couple days and then be done. Alright, so here we go. Here's a good look at the book. It's called Around the Corner Crochet Borders, Edie Ekman. It was published in 2010. Of course, my camera won't focus on that, so you have to trust me. So what Edie Ekman did is she just did different borders and gave them numbers. And that's border number 145. Now you see I've got post-its border number 141. And I wrote linen stitch on there because I thought it would look good on a linen stitch blanket. And guess what my vintage stripes is? It's a linen stitch. Oh, wow. And it's got colors in it just like I want to do. So I can't show you everything in here. I just real quick flip through. I find the directions nice and clear. They're written out in words with rounds and then crochet charts. And there's if there's a stitch that's a little different, it's called, like this one is a double crochet 3 together. So they give you a definition on how that's done. They show you the repeat that goes all the way around. They can't really give you numbers on it because your blanket could be bigger or smaller, so you do have to do a little bit of math on your own. And I myself have used a handful of the borders in here. So, crochet borders, around the corner, crochet borders, Edie Ekman. I bought this book years and years and years and years ago. I either bought it on eBay or Amazon. I don't remember because I've had it for a good 10 years already. Maybe 7 or 8 years. I don't honestly remember. It was recommended to me by somebody in a crochet group, and I bought it, and it is well worth it. Okay, so I'm going to sit and flip through it, see if I can find a border to go on my linen stitch blanket, and I will catch up with you guys either later on tonight or tomorrow, because my day is about to get very busy because it's already after 3 in the afternoon, and that's when I get really busy with the kids coming home from school, and then some of them go to work because they have jobs. So I'll see you guys later, but I am starting to feel better about this blanket. I'm in a good headspace. So thank you guys for being here, for everything that you do for me and helping me out through all of this, and I'll catch you guys later. Bye. Hey crafters, so it is 5:30 at night, and do you see how dark it is outside? I lost all my natural light, so it's dark in the house. I did decide on a border. Again, I am going my own way. I have a tendency to do my own thing, so while looking at the crochet border book, yeah, it gave me some inspiration, but I've decided what I want to do. So I've already done the first round of the border. I did a half double crochet in the soft white. I'm getting ready to start with this grassy green, and I'm going to be doing, dun dun dun, you have to wait till tomorrow when it's daylight, and I'll show you what I'm doing with the second round, okay? That's it for tonight, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Okay, crafters, you ready for an update on what I'm calling my vintage stripe blanket? Yeah. Okay. Alright, so today is Wednesday, November 23rd. It's the day after yesterday. Yeah, I was working on my blanket, and what I did was I did the first round of the border, and I think I told you that yesterday, where I did a round of half double crochets in the soft white. So my second round, I started with the green, and I'm doing a front post double crochet and a back post double crochet. Front post, back post, front post, back post, and it alternates. Okay? You'd be like, Jenny, we don't know how to do front posts and back posts. Can you show us how to do it? Yeah. I'm going to turn the camera around, I'm going to sit, I'm going to show you, because I got to tell you, years ago, I was trying to figure it out myself, right? I was reading the description on how to do a front post double crochet, and it says, insert your hook this way, and that way, right? It didn't make any sense. And then I read the description for the back post. Didn't make any sense, right? Couldn't wrap my head around it. And then I found a diagram that shows me how to put the hook in there. It still didn't make any damn sense. So, of course, went to my mom, said, Mom, do you know what they mean by front post and back post and how to put the hook in there. And she's like, she sat down, she did a little sample, and she showed me, and voila, now I know. So I will show you guys real quick what the difference is on the position of the hook in order to do it. Okay? So give me a minute to change angles. Add some yarn. Alright. Got a lot of tail ends sticking out at me. So there is a row of half double crochets in the soft white for the first round of the border. Okay? So the second row, or second round, I'm doing front post double crochet, then a back post double crochet. Front post, back post, front post, back post. Okay? And I alternate going all the way down this one side of the blanket, and I'm doing that in the grassy green. Okay? And then I get to the corner eventually. Just hang in there. Okay, there's the corner. Alright, so on the first round of the half double crochets in the soft white, I did my last half double crochet here. Here's the corner, and I did a chain 3 to get me around the corner, and then started with my half double crochets this way. So this way, when I do the second round, I've got a chain 3 here, and I can create my own corner. That's a little better than trying to work into this last stitch. So I have 3 double crochets in the chain space, okay? And when I come back on the next round, I will do a front post, and then I'll do 3 stitches in here, and then a back post or a front post. I'm not sure yet. I actually make it up as I go along. So the first side is done in the green. The second side, which is the short side of the blanket, is done in the green. See that texture that it gives, right? I love alternating the front post and the back post. It gives lots of texture. And I decided to do it like this because the blanket, being the linen stitch, is very flat. Okay? Very flat. So I wanted some texture on the border. Nice and bumpy. So when I get down to this end, I switched over to the blue. So 2 sides will be green, 2 sides will be blue. And then, of course, I'll do the same thing with the yellow and the pink. There's the first side of the blue. I like the blue in this stitch, right? Oh. Keep going. The blanket is really long, over 60 inches. So here we go. This is where I'm up to now. I haven't made it to the corner to turn yet. Not yet. Alright, so my hook size. I am using an H or a 5mm. Okay. Are you guys ready to see the difference between the front post and the back post? Back post double crochet. I move my hook behind it. Okay? Go behind there and then around. So everything's done on the back side of the stitch. You pull through. Right? Front post goes this way. Now, this way, that way. Did that make any sense? Oh, no. No, it didn't. Yeah. Here is the stitch I'm working around. This is the post. Okay? Doesn't matter if it's a half double or a full double. This is the post. Your hook goes like this. So my hook is behind the post, but the blue would wind up sitting on the front, so it's a front post. If my hook goes from the back and around, the yarn would make the stitching on the back So that's the back post. See? Now does that make sense? No. Now yarn over for my double crochet. Come from the back. Go around like that. Now the back post double crochet is harder because it's a little bit of an angle. Don't be afraid to just push your hook in there, okay? And then the front post is like this. Alright, one more time for the back post. So you come in from the back to the front. One more front post. Do you guys just ever have those days where the words are, you can speak them and they're understandable, but they feel clunky coming out of your mouth and they never quite make any sense, although they do? That's today for me. I know darn well how to do a front post double crochet and a back post double crochet. Do I know how to explain it in words? No, it looks like I don't. It could be the angle of the camera, I don't know. But I'm not a tutorial channel. I mean, not yet, because you guys know that I am going through a journey of cleaning out all of my crochet stuff. And that means my yarn stash, my project pile, which is mostly blankets that are in various stages of completion. You know that I'm going through everything from my hook collection to my pattern books, and heck, I'm even going to be cleaning patterns off of my computer too while I'm at it. I've only got one lifetime, and I've got to be able to do what makes me happy, and having all of this stuff around me, at some point maybe it did make me happy, but not anymore. So once I'm done going through my journey of cleaning all this stuff out and cleaning, organizing, sorting, purging, when I'm done that, I will switch over into doing projects, crochet alongs, and tutorials. Mostly just the basics. It won't be anything complicated. So yeah, front post double crochets and back post double crochets. That's what I'm doing for the border. When I'm done, so 2 sides of green and then 2 sides with blue, and then I will switch over and put the pink on top of the green and the yellow on top of the blue to mix the colors up, and then probably a round of soft white to finish it. And then hopefully I will be done this by Sunday, and I can put it in my, I have a done pile of everything that has been finished. So yeah, front posts and back posts. Once you get the hang of them, you realize they're not actually all that complicated. You just need somebody to show you the mechanics of it, and then you can get the hang of it. So that's what I'm going to be working on for the rest of today. I don't think you need any more updates until I get closer to the end of working on the border. So I will probably see you guys, maybe not tomorrow because it's a holiday tomorrow, but maybe on Friday, Saturday, I'll get back to you. Okay, so I see ya. Hey crafters, today is Friday, November 25th, I want to say. This is what my border's looking like right now. I did the yellow on top of the blue. I did the pink on top of the green. Okay. So this is just 2 rounds, alright? I split the rounds up. I did half blue, half green, and then half pink and half yellow. So I'm getting ready to do the next round of the border, and after the next round, I'll see if I need to do one more round to finish it. But hopefully I can be done this soon, because after I get done the crocheting part, I still have all these yarn tails that I need to sew in. Because if I don't, this guy here will eat them all. Say hi to Bandit. But hey, crafters, so it is still Friday. It is way later in the day. I have done 1, 2, 3, 4 rounds of the border, and I'm going to do one more round, 5th round, make it, I don't know, I'm just going to keep going until I feel like I don't need to go anymore. So for the 4th round, I did a half double crochet in between each and every double crochet in the middle of the front post and the back posts. Okay, so this 5th round is just going to be single crochet, and then I should be done. Hey crafters, today is Saturday, November 26th. Alright, let's do an update. I am done doing the rounds on the border. Okay, I did a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rounds. Okay, half of it is in blue and yellow, the other half is in green and pink. And then I finished off with a half double crochet and then a single crochet. Alright, so now that this is all done, I have to do the favorite part that everybody loves so much. This. And it's all down this side and the other side of the blanket. So both ends. I don't know, 100 tails at least. I don't know. So that's where I will be the rest of the day. Hey crafters, today is Sunday, November 27th, 2022. I am calling this done. Even though I still have all these yarn tails to sew in. That's the left side. And there's the right side. It all needs to be done. But don't mind my squeaky floor. Okay, so I have a king size bed, and it totally fits all along the bottom of the bed as a foot runner. Okay, that's the sheet that inspired it. And the sheet is green stripes, pink stripes, yellow, blue. Green, pink, yellow, blue. The border, I did 5 rounds of the border. This is a front post double crochet, and then next is a back post double crochet. So there's blue and yellow on this side, with pink and green on this side. Okay, I'm hoping I'm in frame, right? It's so hard without a flip out screen. I always have to get up, down, up, down, up, down, see if I'm in frame. Alright, so today is actually Sunday. This video is going up today. I'm calling this blanket done for the moment because, as you've seen all along, I have a bunch of, because I had changed color on every row, I have dozens of yarn tails that I need to sew in. I did start a little bit last night on Saturday. See, that little section is done right there. But the rest of it, and because I did it on every row, it's not just the left side of the blanket, it's also the right side. So I've got 2 sides where I have got to do all these yarn tails. And you guys know that while we have to do it, it's not always a fun thing to do. And it's time consuming, and right now I don't have time to do it. So the crocheting part of this blanket is done, and then as I have nights here and there throughout the winter, I will sit and I will sew in the rest of the yarn tails on it, and this blanket will be ready to be sold, I don't know, February, March, April. Yes, because it'll probably take me that long to finish the yarn tails on it. So, what do you guys think of my vintage striped blanket? And my journey with it. Okay. felt like it was going to be the death of me, right? So here's my sheet. The sheet is very worn and very faded, but this was my inspiration for it. But now that the blanket is done, I'm going to take this sheet and I'm going to repurpose it. I'm going to thinking maybe pillowcases or curtains. I could use some curtains in my kitchen, and I want my kitchen to have a vintage feel to it. Or I can make a cat bed out of it, because I have cats that need a bed of their own. So anyway, that's my sheet. And since, you know, it'll fit on the end of a king-size bed, I showed you that. So it will fit on the end of a king-size bed as a bed runner or a foot runner, whatever people want to call it. So that is to the end of today's video. It is the end of this blanket. I have one more project from 2014 that I need to show you. It's a bunch of granny squares that I was working on that I had mixed it. It's half traditional granny and half solid granny. But it's only a handful of them, and I didn't go anywhere with it. So I'm gonna do a small video for that someday this week. So look out for it. It'll be just a random bonus content, I guess, because it's my last project from 2014. Then I can move on to 2015, and I have a lot of projects for 2015. Plus the holidays are coming up, and everybody is busy. I hope this video is finding you guys happy, healthy, and not so stressed like I have been with this blanket, especially. Seriously, it's been quite a journey with this one. So I will see you guys someday later this week for a random project video, and then on Wednesday for what's in the yarn bins. Okay, I'll see you guys then. Bye.